Climax, Intercourse, Three-Way, Truth or Consequences. Now I know what you all are thinking, but this isn't that. These are actually the names of some cities and towns right here in the United States of America. And we're gonna have a bit of fun today, and we're gonna go through some of the strangest city names in America. Like the video, subscribe if you love the content, and let's get into it. To start things off is Cumming, Georgia. Cumming is the county seat of Forsyth County and is a part of the Atlanta metro area. It had a 2020 population of 7,318, but when surrounding unincorporated areas are included, it sits at around 10,000 people. Cumming was founded in 1834 and named for William Cumming, a soldier from Augusta, Georgia, who fought in the Niagara campaign against Canada. Though there is some dispute over whether or not the city was actually named for him or for some other reason. There's so many ways to play with this name, Cumming. On my other channel, I actually have a video for Georgia 400 that is called Georgia 400 South, Coming to Atlanta. Up next is Climax, North Carolina. Climax is an unincorporated town that sits on the border of Guilford and Randolph counties, just south of Greensboro. Since it's unincorporated, it doesn't have official boundaries, but the Climax post office with Climax mailing addresses has been operating since 1891. Climax was named for being located at a high point along the Atlantic and Yadkin Railway, as well as being situated near the northernmost point of Randolph County. Still in North Carolina, we have Kill Devil Hills. Now, if you've ever been to the Outer Banks, then you're familiar with this town. It is located in Dare County and is the largest municipality in the Outer Banks with a population of 7,633 people. The source of the town's name is not entirely clear, but the website outerbanks.com says it was named after a popular rum that was potent enough to, quote, kill the devil. Oof. While another theory states that the name was from sailors who had difficulty navigating the waters along North Carolina's Outer Banks. At number 4, we go to Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Truth or Consequences is the county seat of Sierra County. It had a population of 6,052 in 2020. It sits along I-25 between Albuquerque and Las Cruces. In 1916, this town was incorporated as Hot Springs due to the hot springs near the area. The city changed its name from Hot Springs to Truth or Consequences as the result of a radio show contest. In 1950, Ralph Edwards, who hosted the NBC radio quiz show Truth or Consequences, announced that he would air the program on its 10th anniversary from the first town that renamed itself after the show. Well, challenge was accepted, and here we are today, Truth or Consequences. The funny thing about Truth or Consequences is that I remember first hearing about this town from a movie I saw as a kid back in the 90s called Truth or Consequences. For number 5, we go on over to Big Texas, where we have the city of Cut and Shoot. Cut and Shoot is in Montgomery County near Conroe and is a part of the Houston, Texas metro area. It had a population of 1,087 in 2020. According to one local legend, Cut and Shoot was named after a 1912 community confrontation that almost led to violence. According to differing versions of this story, the dispute was over the design of a new steeple for the town's only church, or the issue of who should be allowed to preach there, or the conflicting land claims among church members. So apparently some people were cutting and some people were shooting. At number 6, we go to China. No, not that China. China, Texas. That's right, guys. China is in Texas. China is in Jefferson County and had a 2020 population of 1,260. It's just west of Beaumont, Texas, and is a part of that city's metro area. China was originally known as China Grove based off the large chinaberry trees in the area, and the post office with the name China was established in 1893. But it wasn't until 1971 that the name became official when the town formally incorporated under the new name, China. And another one for Texas is Sweetwater. Sweetwater is the county seat of Nolan County, Texas, and had a population of 10,622 back in 2020. And it is on the I-20 corridor between Big Spring and Abilene. The town's name, Sweetwater, is the English translation of the Kiowa language word Mobiti. Now, I did personally travel out there to Sweetwater last month, but I didn't get to find out whether or not the water is sweet. Maybe next time. And one more for Texas. I mean, they seem to have so many of these that they could probably have their own list of strange names. But number 8 is White Settlement, Texas. White Settlement is a suburb of Fort Worth in Tarrant County and had a 2020 population of 18,269. Now I already know what you're thinking when you see the name of this town. The city got its name as it was the lone settlement of white colonists amid several Native American villages in the Fort Worth area back in the Texas Republic territory in the 1840s. But as of today, this city is only 52% white, with a large Hispanic population now making up over 30% of the total. On October 14, 2005, city leaders attempted to change the town's name from White Settlement to West Settlement due to difficulty in attracting businesses. But the voters overwhelmingly rejected this idea with a vote of 2,388 to 219. And so it shall remain White Settlement, Texas. And number 9 is up in Kansas, and the city is called Gass. Gass is in Allen County and had a 2020 population of 475. Now this is pretty far from the more populated parts of the state, so you're unlikely to pass through here unless you have a specific reason to be out this way. The city was named for the abundant amounts of natural gas found in the area. Gas City, as it was commonly called, peaked in population in 1910 at 1,281 and declined significantly afterwards. Up next is Screamer, Alabama. Now Screamer is an unincorporated community in Henry County, Alabama. Its boundaries are undefined, but it's an area of Alabama Route 95 between Dothan and Columbus, Georgia. One theory as to where this name came from was 19th century Native Americans using it to loudly heckle white train travelers as they passed by what was then a reservation. However, this is not confirmed. Now we go up to New Jersey where we have Loveladies. Now this one isn't necessarily a town in itself, but rather is a neighborhood within the township of Long Beach, New Jersey, in Ocean County. In 1871, a small 10-acre area here was owned by a man named Thomas Lovelady. Initially, it was called Loveladies, spelled like his name, but eventually evolved into what we have now, Loveladies. And don't we all love ladies? Nearby, we have Boring, Maryland. Boring is an unincorporated community in Baltimore County, Maryland, at the intersection of Old Hanover and Pleasant Grove Roads, approximately 5 miles north of Reisterstown. Now, most people are probably thinking the name Boring was chosen because of how boring the area is, which is entirely possible. But it was actually named for the postmaster, David Boring. Originally, it was called Fairview, but was changed due to there being another town called Fairview on the same railroad line. Up next is Hell, Michigan, that is. Hell is another unincorporated community. It is in Putnam Township in Livingston County, Michigan. It's about 60 miles from Detroit. Now, there are a number of theories for the origin of Hell's name. The first is that a pair of German travelers stepped out of a stagecoach one Sunday afternoon in the 1830s, and one said to the other, "So schön hell," which translates as "so beautifully bright." And their comments were overheard by some locals and the name stuck. Another theory is tied to the hell-like conditions encountered by early explorers, including mosquitoes, thick forest cover, and extensive wetlands. And a third rumor is that soon after Michigan gained statehood, George Reeves was asked what he thought the town he helped settle should be called, and he replied, "I don't care. You can name it Hell for all I care." And the name became official on October 13th, 1841. Hell, Michigan. Then there is Y, Arizona. Y is an incorporated community in Pima County, Arizona. Y is in an extremely rural area of the state, and it does appear to have a defined boundary. It had a 2020 census population of 122. The name came from the Y junction of two state highways, 85 and 86 in the area. Since Arizona law requires cities to have at least 3 letters in their name, the name Y was chosen rather than the letter Y. As of today, the old Y junction has been redesigned by the Arizona DOT for safety reasons, and now it is a conventional intersection. After Y, Arizona is Y City, Arkansas. Y City is in Scott County, Arkansas, and is at the junction of US 71 and US 270. I actually drove through Y City back in 2023 to check it out, as it is along the corridor of the planned future Interstate 49 to be built through the state. If you blink too fast, you just might miss it. At number 16 is an interesting one. Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Another unincorporated community, Intercourse, is in Leacock Township in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Ironically, Intercourse is in the heart of Amish country. In 2020, it had a population of 1,494. It was founded in 1754 and originally named Cross Keys, but the name Intercourse was adopted in 1814. One theory for the name is that it comes from the use of language during the early days of the village. The word intercourse was commonly used to describe the fellowship and social interaction and support shared in a community of faith, which was much a part of the village. And nearby Intercourse, Pennsylvania is Blue Ball, Pennsylvania. Blue Ball is also unincorporated and in Lancaster County. It had a 2020 population of 1,084. The name Blue Ball originates from the Blue Ball Hotel, built more than 200 years ago, which stood on the southeastern corner of Pennsylvania 23 and US 322. Blue Ball and Intercourse. Those guys in Pennsylvania sure have fun naming these towns. And also nearby are the towns of Mount Joy, Pleasureville, Bird in Hand, Fertility, and Paradise. Wow, those Amish people. For number 18, we go all the way out to Wyoming. The strange city name here is Chugwater. It is in Platte County, Wyoming, about 25 miles north of Cheyenne, and in 2020 had a population of 175. Some historians hold that the name Chugwater is derived from a Mandan account of a bison hunt. And according to this narrative, a chief was disabled during the hunt and his son took charge of the hunt, or buffalo jump. Under his direction, hunters drove the bison over nearby cliffs. When the animals reached the ground below, a sound of chugging was heard by the hunters. And the story concludes with an etymology. Since a stream was near the base of the cliffs, the site of the stampede has been called the place, or water, at the place where the buffalo chug. And thus we have chug water. And now that we've chugged some water, we go over to Three-Way, Tennessee. Three-Way is in Madison County, Tennessee, which is a part of the Jackson, Tennessee metro area. In 2020, it had a population of 1,709 people. Now, I know what you were thinking, but that's not how it got its name. The city was incorporated in 1998 and was named for the split of US 45 East and US 45 West in the area, a three-way junction. Number 20 is still in the South, in good old South Carolina. The town in question is called Coward, South Carolina. Coward is in Florence County, South Carolina, and a part of the Florence, South Carolina metro area. It had a 2020 population of 748. Now, there is some debate over the exact origin of the town's name, but it wasn't until the early 20th century that the town officially adopted the name Coward. Some records indicate that the town was named in honor of Colonel Asbury Coward, a Confederate veteran who later became Commandant of the South Carolina Military Academy. While some other records say that it was named for John Wilson Coward, a member of the Committee of 50, who was responsible for petitioning the state of South Carolina for the charter incorporating Florence County. Number 21 is another place in Maryland, and this one is called Accident. Accident is located in Garrett County, Maryland, along US 219. It had a population of 338 in 2020. The name originated around the time of the 1786 land survey. Though the origin or the meaning of the name is unknown, one popular story says that Brooke Beale and William Deakins Jr., friends from Prince George's County, were conducting separate surveys in the area at the time, and by accident, Deakins claimed land already surveyed by Beale. People from Accident are interestingly known as accidentals. Up next is French Lick, Indiana, home of the legendary NBA player Larry Bird. It is in French Lick Township in Orange County, Indiana. In 2020, the population was 1,722. French Lick got its name from the original function as a French trading post built near a spring in Salt Lick. It was originally called Salt Spring, but as of 1847, the post office was named French Lick, and the town was incorporated as French Lick in 1857. Number 23 is in Oklahoma, where we have a town called OK. OK is located in Wagner County, Oklahoma, and had a 2020 population of 505. The town was incorporated in 1919, but had various names before that point. The post office and railroad companies referred to the area as Coretta since the 1890s. The post office changed it to Rex in 1900 and to North Muskogee in 1911. The name OK finally came about in 1919 after the OK brand of oil tankers made at a factory built there in 1915 by the Oklahoma Auto Manufacturing Company. OK. Number 24 is Fryes, Virginia. Well, it's actually pronounced Freeze, Virginia, not fries like the food. Freeze is located in Grayson County, Virginia, and had a 2020 population of 452. Freeze is named after a North Carolina cotton mill owner, Colonel Francis Henry Freeze. Freeze actually petitioned the Virginia legislature to name the town Carico after Jim Pipe Carico, but they declined and instead chose to incorporate the town as Freeze. but we're gonna call it Fry's. And the final strangely named place on our list is Dinosaur, Colorado. Dinosaur is in Moffat County, Colorado, and had a 2020 population of 243. The town of Dinosaur was originally known as Baxter Springs, owned by Art and Fanny Baxter. It was renamed Artesia for its valued water supply when the town was plotted to accommodate the oil boom of the 1940s. But the current name was adopted in 1966 to capitalize on the town's proximity to Dinosaur National Monument. The Dinosaur National Monument headquarters is located just east of town on Highway 40. And they went all in with the dinosaur thing. As you can see, many of the north-south streets in the city are named after various types of dinosaurs. And all right, guys, there are America's 25 strangest city names. Let me know if you've been to any of these cities or if you know of any other strange city names in the country. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.